Welcome to EO Talks, Eastern Oregon's very own talk show, only here on EOAlive.
Tell me your name and which office you're seeking.
So I'm Kyle Flynn. I'm running for the BOLI Commissioner, Bureau of Labor and Industries. And the reason that I'm running is mostly I've been hearing a lot of troubles in the housing market and a lot of troubles in the industry. There's a lot of people that are worried about inflation in Oregon, especially this last year. And I've come to realize that a lot of this responsibility is under BOLI jurisdiction, and I think that's a good place to start.
What do you do professionally?
Oh, you cut out a little bit there. So I know the questions. So, what I do professionally is I do a lot of carpentry work. Today I'm going to be going into town and installing some soundproofing insulation and drywall. So I just work around in the community as much as I can.
Now, do you have any public service or political background?
A little bit of volunteer stuff back in high school. I used to. I wasn't officially on any campaigns, but I did do some door-to-door stuff just for experience. I had friends that were actually involved in campaigns. I had friends who actually managed petitions. It's been quite a few years, but I feel that now is a good time to get the legwork in.
Now, can you tell me more about your personal biography?
So I'm from Roseburg, Oregon. I went to school in Roseburg, Oregon. I've been here as long as I can remember. Not much more than that, really.
Gotcha. So you're still in Roseburg? So you're still in Roseburg? Can you tell us more about your community of Roseburg?
So Roseburg is kind of a small town, but it's also still a city. So there's about 30 to 40,000 people here in the area, and I would consider the surrounding areas are also Roseburg, the surrounding small towns. And so I think everybody here kind of knows each other, or at least has seen each other around, and that leads to a pretty tight-knit community here, which is good in some cases. In other cases, for some people, maybe not. I've heard recently that someone who had moved here about 10 years ago, they went into a bar and they asked the bartender what it was like here. And he said, this place has a way of just making people leave sometimes. So for what that is, I can see where that bartender is coming from. That said, I'm here to stay, and I've been here for as long as I can remember.
Now, as you talk to Oregonians about your campaign, which business and labor issues are you hearing them say they would like the next BOLI commissioner to focus on?
So I actually have a petition that I've started here. It's a prospective petition, which means it's not yet going to be on the ballot. I have to raise 1,000 signatures and submit that to get a proper petition to be on the ballot. And the petition, the main focus of the petition is to correct the housing market. I have this idea that the housing prices are overinflated, which is true nationwide to an extent. I don't know if many people are as familiar as I am with the lending rates and security interests and national reserves and things of that nature. But that's all the more reason that I should be presenting this information. So the reason that I believe that the housing market is inflated is due to simply the fact that you are able to take such large loans against the property. For example, if you were to replace housing with any other common commodity or resource, because land is a resource, of course, and you were able to collateralize that in the loan of a substantial amount comparable to what housing or land mortgage is here in Oregon. So over $100,000 per parcel. That would naturally raise the sale value of that commodity to over what you can borrow against it, over the borrowing power of the asset itself. And so my petition is to remove that, and that is one of uh, the main issues that I see here. There's a lot of young folks who can't afford to get their own properties. There's a lot of folks who have levered their own houses just for maintenance or just to get into it. They've had to use a lot of credit. And I don't see that as generally a positive thing in this community. Again, Roseburg is a small town, and the net average income is quite low compared to larger cities.
Who is your favorite Oregon historical figure?
Uh, I wouldn't say that I necessarily care for any particular historical figure. Um, in any sense or any place, really. I don't care much for politicians, as that is. This is definitely not a field that I have chosen as a career, or rather as a means to an end. I see a job that needs done. And so I don't really take any inspiration from historical viewpoints or politics in any regular sense.
What do you consider to be the primary sources of your personal values?
Right. I think I just tried to answer that question with the last question. I don't. That's another interesting one because I do sometimes like to philosophize, but uh, again, I don't see that as relevant to the objective of what I'm trying to do. And so, for that reason, I'm going to have to just say uh, I take inspiration from uh, the people that are around me and the people that are telling me what they need and what they can and cannot do due to the limitations that are upon them here.
Now, do you anticipate any potential criticisms from your opponents, and do you have any responses to these potential criticisms you think you may face?
Uh, so far, I have heard nothing from any opponents. I don't expect this to be a very big deal in the news. Usually, I don't see anything about the BOLI commissioners in the news really at all until it's election time. And I usually don't see any statements from them even while they're in office. And it's very hard to sort of track what's actually going on with them, which is strange because the BOLI commissioner does control a significant portion of the Oregon economy. Um, so I don't know if there will be any points to be made.
Now it's time for our world famous lightning round. So, first off, ducks or beavers?
Um, to be honest with you, I do not pay attention to college sports. Uh, I'm a very busy person, and I try to stay that way.
All right. What is your favorite Oregon landmark?
That would have to be Interstate 5.
Okay.
I definitely enjoy the ease of access and using that.
All righty. What is your favorite Oregon beer?
Uh, I don't really know if I have an answer to that. Um, I did just turn 21 quite recently,
Okay. What
so
is your
I
favorite
do have
Oregon-based food or beverage?
some. Mm. So yeah, I don't have a very good answer to that either.
What is your favorite place in Eastern Oregon?
Uh, so that's a good question. I've recently been looking at the land that's available in Eastern Oregon, and I have looked around quite a lot in that area. Uh, in Eastern Oregon, I would say that's hard to say because there's really it's just a lot of land. So I like that area in general. I think that will be in the future. I feel like it will be more populated in some areas. Others, it will take a lot longer time for that to happen. And I do like a lot of people, so it's very hard for me to uh, say that that's a place that I would go frequently. But I do like the climate there, and I have been out to Redmond uh, for athletic tournaments and the like.
Last up, can you tell us where we can get in contact with you and share with our viewers any final thoughts about your campaign?
Sure. Feel free to contact me. My email is kyleflynn76@protonmail.com. Uh, that would be the main way of getting in contact with me. That's how Alex here has got in contact with me today. Uh, yeah, just contact me directly via email, and that's going to be the best way of getting a hold of me and asking any questions that you have.